Life is filled with moments of uncertainty, moments where the challenges seem too great, the road ahead too difficult, and we wonder if we have the strength to keep going. But here's the truth. You're not meant to face these struggles alone. God sees you. He knows what you're going through, and He's not just watching from a distance. He's with you, guiding you through it all. Let's start with Isaiah 43:2, where God says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." Notice that God doesn't say if you pass through the waters or the fire. He says when. That means we will face difficult times, but the promise is that we won't face them alone. God will be right there with us, and the challenges won't destroy us. They may test us, but they won't defeat us. Too often, when we face hardships, we focus on the size of the problem rather than the size of our God. But remember the words of 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. God doesn't want you to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Whatever it is that's weighing you down, whether it's fear, stress, uncertainty, or failure, He's asking you to give it to Him. He cares for you deeply and wants to carry that burden for you. Now, it's easy to hear these words and think, that sounds great, but my situation feels too overwhelming. And I get it. When life is tough, these promises can feel distant. But that's exactly why faith is so important. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." You see, faith is about trusting God, even when you can't see how things are going to work out. It's about believing that God is moving on your behalf, even when everything around you seems uncertain. Look at the story of Joshua. When he was about to lead the Israelites into the Promised Land, he faced incredible odds. The city of Jericho was fortified, and the path ahead seemed impossible. But God told him in Joshua 1:9, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And what did Joshua do? He trusted God. He followed His command, even when it didn't make sense. He marched around the walls of Jericho, and in God's timing, the walls came down. Here's the point. God can bring down the walls that stand in your way. He can open doors you thought were closed forever. But it requires trust. Trust that He knows what's best. Trust that He's working things out behind the scenes. And trust that His timing is perfect. Sometimes we want things to happen right away. But Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. God's timing is not ours, but it is always right. Think of the story of Joseph. He was thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and put in prison. It would have been easy for Joseph to give up, to believe that God had forgotten him. But through all of it, Joseph remained faithful, and in time, God elevated him to the second highest position in Egypt, saving not only his family, but an entire nation. What was once Joseph's greatest struggle became his greatest testimony. Psalm 30 verse 5 tells us, "Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." Your struggles, your pain, they're not permanent. There is an end to this season of difficulty, and it will come with victory. It may feel like night right now, but the morning is coming. And when it does, you will look back and see how God was with you every step of the way, turning what seemed like a setback into a setup for something greater. So, What do we do in the meantime? How do we keep going when the road is hard, when we feel like giving up? Galatians 6:9 gives us the answer. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Perseverance is key. You may not see the fruit of your labor right away, but keep pressing on. Keep trusting God. Keep walking in faith, knowing that the harvest is coming if you don't give up. And let's not forget the words of Romans 8:31. If God is for us, who can be against us? You are not fighting this battle alone. The Creator of the universe is on your side. The one who parted the Red Sea, who brought down the walls of Jericho, who raised Christ from the dead. That same God is fighting for you. So don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Don't let the size of the storm convince you that you won't make it through. With God, you are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and more capable than you realize. Let me leave you with this. Hebrews 12:1-2 says, "Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith." Your journey is unique to you, but you are not running it alone. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Trust that He is with you, that He is guiding you, and that He is using every challenge, every hardship to bring you closer to the purpose He has for you. Remember, God's purpose is greater than your pain. He is working in you, through you, and for you, even in the middle of the storm. Don't give up. Keep going. Your breakthrough is coming. Amen.